Right, field report. Earlier this week, I said I was going to try dopamine detoxes. Here's what actually happened. So, I did 3 experiments, highly scientific. Method. It was in the window of 7 to 10 p.m. after the girls have gone to sleep. And that is the window that I usually spend just scrolling Instagram and TikTok with a wild abandon, really. Just scrolling till my eyes bleed. Bit dramatic, but that is what it feels like. That's my scrolling window. That's when we'd done our experiment. So on the first day, I absolutely raw dogged the shit out of it. That meant no phone, no TV, no books, no music, no chatting, no food, no nothing. And it felt dreadful, to be honest, like a cruel, unjust punishment after a day of parenting. I ended up kind of just ruminating on stuff. I'm not gonna take it too dark today. Well, it probably will get dark, but yeah, I couldn't even tidy up. Just give myself a little treat of tidying up, because that is obviously a tick to do dopamine thing. That's what Mrs. Hinch gets off on, isn't it? All the cleaning influencers you see, they are dopamine scrounging in a good way. So I couldn't do that. I couldn't even clean out a drawer and make it a productive use of my time. So I think the pure dopamine detoxes are only for sort of boys with very little responsibility or just nothing to lose, really, with doing nothing with their waking hours. So that for me is it's a no. Towards the end of it, I'll be honest with you, I did have to compromise a little. Not compromise the entire experiment, but I've set my phone up. In fact, this is a hack for you to reduce screen time. I've done it so the button on the side of my phone, you know, their iPhones have an action button. You can program it to take a picture or whatever. I've set mine so it records a voice memo. So if I can't stop and write notes, if I'm in the car where I'll puke if I write, not driving, obviously, or it's like the middle of the night and I've thought of something legendary and I don't want to shine the light in my eyes, then I just hold down that and record a voice note. I did do that on day 1 of this experiment. Towards the end, I'll be honest. And I did get an early night, so I suppose that's a positive. Anyway, don't do that. Don't burn 3 hours of your life ruminating on things and leaving yourself mad voice notes, okay? On to the second day. That was my reading day. I think I might have messed up a bit because I did read on my Kindle. Now, do we know, has that got the blue light that a phone has got? Do I need those little glasses, you know, the blue light blockers? Keep getting sponsored added those. But yeah, I got very into my Kindle. I have been pretty much Kindle only for, I guess, 6 years since becoming a mother, because my children, I don't know if they are completely unruly, but they just like snatch a book, rip a book, want to read the book themselves. But is a Kindle messing with my sleep? Not that I'm reading it, but I did read it. I did read it for one night and one night only. I went for a book called Onyx Storm. Now, that's the 3rd of a series. Fourth Wing is the first book, and it's kind of like an adult Harry Potter, Twilight, sexy dragon college-based romance, which sounds very lame now I say it out loud. But it's easy to read, and it's very Moorish. And that's what we need. We need easy and addictive. That is the moral of this podcast. So that's what I read. And these are my findings. I did feel better for it. Yes, of course I did. However, I found myself feeling a bit stressed and annoyed that I wouldn't be able to finish it. And I was thinking, well, I can't do this every night. Not sure why I can't. I'm going to forget the plot between nights, and this is all for nothing. I felt like I needed to finish it. And I think that is a symptom of constantly scrolling and having the loop closed. Like scroll 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 30 seconds, done, done, done. And it felt like being such a long form thing, because it's probably about, I think my Kindle says it's about a 10-hour read or something. It stressed me out. And that is bad, isn't it? Because I used to bloody love reading. In fact, I started the Onyx Storm series, Fourth Wing series, whatever. I started the series when I was pregnant with Mabel because I had hours of the day with quite bad morning sickness that I was just lying there. I didn't want to just scroll and rot. So after a week off scrolling and rotting, I swapped over to fantasy erotic novels and highly recommend. In fact, I might do a list of them soon because I have read them all. But yeah, I feel like when I had huge chunks of time to read, it felt great. When I only have little bits of time, I feel like I can't get into this properly. And I want to watch a TikTok, please. But that's not good. I need to learn to read. I need to learn moderation and to read in moderation, not read for hours and hours or nothing. So that's my conclusion there. And actually, it didn't even feel as good as it felt when I was reading during pregnancy or childhood or when I was a student and had endless time. And my thing is, in fact, this is one of the things about podcasting that sucks, apart from nobody listening. You know when you finish talking to someone or having an argument, and then afterwards you think, oh, bollocks, why didn't I say that? Or, oh, this would have been legendary. This would have been a mic drop. Yeah, I keep getting that. Like on Monday with the Dopamine Detox one, you know, I made the analogy of, oh, is it like drinking and then you're a lightweight? I've got a better one that I hope is the truth. You know when you've been on a diet and you're absolutely ravenous. So when you have a salad or fruit and veg in general, suddenly it tastes legendary and your taste buds light up, and that's what you crave because you're actually hungry for once in your life. Yet at, say, Christmas time, when you're just turgid with cheese and rich foods, and you wake up feeling full still, the thought of eating a strawberry and the actual sensation of eating a strawberry is just like a watery inconvenience. Do you know what I mean? And you don't get that hit as if when you're genuinely hungry and you bite into a strawberry and it lights up your gob. I'm hoping that reducing screen time will light me up again for reading, for watching films. Please let it be so. Because right now it feels like kind of wading through treacle, reading long form stuff, which is terrible. So recap, first night, pure raw dog dopamine detox, do not recommend. Second night, reading, was very nice, concerned about the Kindle and concerned about it not being enough of a pleasure for me anymore. Third night, television night. So I had a few recommendations on what to watch, and I went for something. I needed shock factor because that's what I'm getting on my phone, and I wanted it to be something that I would be able to have conversations about. For example, when I get my nails done, then I want to be able to talk to the ladies about what they've just watched, and they watch a lot of documentaries. So I went for a vital cultural piece called the Bonnie Blue documentary. Now, if you don't know who Bonnie Blue is, she is an OnlyFans creator from England who went mega viral in all the papers, worldwide news, for saying quite a lot of mad rage baity stuff online, like wives owe their husbands blowjobs and if they don't do it, she will. B, for taking 1,000 dicks in a day in some massive gangbang in London, filming it and selling it on OnlyFans. And I think that got her into the Guinness Book of World Records, although I don't remember seeing that kind of entry in the Christmas edition I got when I was a kid. Don't remember there being awards for massivist gangbang in there. Perhaps there's an adult edition, I don't know. But anyway, she's the title holder, or she was a year ago when she did it. So I did love it when it was on. I liked the communal aspect of watching it with flatmate, my husband, because otherwise we're sitting, the TV might be on, but we are scrolling as well. And we don't have a common thing to talk about. And if one of us wants to show the other something they think is funny or worthwhile, the other one's kind of a bit annoyed that they're being pulled away from what they think is funny and worthwhile. So that's so healthy. So I do think this was nicer. But I did find that I wanted my phone. I don't know if it's because it was the television screen. So I already had a screen and it felt like, well, why shouldn't I be able to look up whether somebody else has taken 1,001 cocks since she took the 1,000? Did I like the documentary? Well, I fell asleep halfway through, and normally I find it quite hard to fall asleep. Weird, isn't it, that unwinding with a bright blue light sort of 3 inches away from my face, casting the world's excesses and evils directly into my eyes, doesn't kind of send me into a restful slumber. But having the screen further away and only talking about one mad thing sent me right off. So that's something to think about. In fact, I think I got more sleep on all 3 nights. Groundbreaking revelation. But now I've bloody fallen asleep. I feel like because I only watched it halfway through, I don't have enough knowledge to say my bit when I'm at the nail salon. What points can I make? I liked that she enjoys jigsaw puzzles. That was a surprise. We've got that in common. She's very beautiful. What else? It's tricky. I feel very torn because I think it should be her right to sell imagery of her body. And sex has been transactional throughout the entire of human history, whether that's from having sex with the guy with the most power and resources to ensure your safety, or a Parisian courtesan back in the 1910s, or a wife going over when she's probably not feeling it, but then when she does, it's actually all right to kind of maintain intimacy and closeness in a marriage. Hang on, let me look at more ways that sex has been transactional. So in prehistory, women were exchanged between families to secure alliances, consolidate land, and produce labour and heirs. There was a bride price or a dowry, which still exists in many cultures, of cattle, gold, land, and tools given in exchange for a wife. I do enjoy that it's kind of Bonnie's choice and she's reaping all the reward rather than, you know, her family's choice. So part of me does like OnlyFans in that it puts the money purely in the girl's pocket. She's in total creative control of what content she's making. I mean, this is presuming there's not some dodgy bloke behind the scenes compelling her to do it. Let's say it's all her. I like that all the money goes to her instead of porn actresses being paid, let's say, $1,000 or $2,000, and some dirty producer is making tens of thousands off it. So I enjoy that. Puts the power back in the female's hands. So yeah, it's tricky. I feel as though a lot of the commentary on it is acting as though transactional sexuality is some moral collapse caused by the internet, when in reality it is kind of the default state of human history. But what's changed now is that women can be the ones running the contract. And I think that's pissing a lot of men off, because it's often blokes on those podcasts giving Bonnie a hard time. But I do have a bone to pick with Bonnie myself, which is I do not think that she should be going after the virgins teenage boys. I wonder about the mental faculties of some of the guys that are turning up, considering they know that they're going to be on camera. At one point, a mum comes along and tries to drag her son out of the queue and tell him off. I think there should be an age limit for filming people having sex. And I think that should be 25. Okay? If I was Prime Minister, that's my new rule. Because I think by that point, your prefrontal cortex is just about there and you can make the decision, not as a child. Bonnie does frame her exploits as a form of feminism. And I'm not sure whether kind of having sex with teenagers, filming it and selling it, is that feminist? I think it's a stretch. Okay, I think it's a stretch. But again, I only got halfway through. Maybe if I'd finished it, I'd have been fully convinced. I don't know. Do you know who did finish it? Flatmate. And he sent me his opinions. So let's experiment with a new segment called Flatmate's Field Notes. Possibly a one-time only deal. So he said, Bonnie is a generational outlier and should be viewed as a leadership icon. Not where I thought he'd be going with this. He's given us 6 points. Should we go through them? Sod it, let's go through them. Number 1, she's a marketing genius who has identified outrage and controversy to stand out in a tsunami of content clamouring for our attention. Yeah, I'll give him that. She is a marketing genius. When I see her saying mad shit online, I stop. That will stop my scroll. Number 2, she has this is horrific. Listen to this. She has future-proofed her business by targeting 18-year-olds to lock in long-term revenue. Okay, I'm going to give some context here. This is a businessman speaking. So I think he's potentially coming at this through those eyes. Number 3, she has all the psychopathic leadership tendencies seen in top CEOs, right? Self-centered, craves attention, devoid of guilt, relentless pursuit for success, manipulative, charm and charisma, high tolerance for stress, reduced fear, impulsive, lacks emotional depth, intelligent and meticulous planner. Okay, so she has psychopathic tendencies, and apparently that's a good thing in business. Number 4, she's monetized her kink, which is gangbangs, so arguably enjoys her work. Is it her kink? Or is she just saying that to make the men think she likes it? No, that's terrible judgment, isn't it? It could be her kink. I think I'm just perhaps quite frigid, which is fine. Number 5, she has the stamina and dedication of a top-class athlete. I was awake when she said this because the 1,000 cocks thing took her, I think, 24 hours. So she was caning the energy drinks and coffee and had people lined up around the street. And it was like a physical feat of endurance, which is true. Ultramarathon runners have to push past tiredness, push past the normal human body's capabilities. It is a physical feat. Not sure if it's one we should pursue. Number 6, her ability to more than hold her own on podcast appearances is phenomenal. The Bad Friends pod appearance with 2 hardened veteran US stand-ups, Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino, was incredible. I've seen her hold her own amazingly with Andrew Tate. In fact, she kind of made him uncomfortable and blush and put him on the back foot a few times, which I very much enjoyed. Her rage bait is elite, that is true. I suspect she also has an excess of testosterone, judging from some of my research, and in my opinion, this could be demonstrated by her clitoromegaly. But don't ask how or why I know this. Okay, let's Google clitoromegaly. or a macroclitoris. It's the abnormal enlargement of the clitoris. Okay, for legal reasons, I would just like to say I don't think that Bonnie Blue has a macroclitoris. This is all speculation. And on a moral level, I'm actually quite jealous. Imagine having a massive clitoris. I mean, perhaps I would like gangbangs if I feel better knowing that she probably does have a super high testosterone-fueled sex drive, because testosterone is what gives you, like near when you're ovulating, an abnormal peak in your sex drive. And then that crashes and everything goes to shit. If she does have more testosterone, it makes me feel comforted knowing that she's having a good time out there. Anyway, we've gone off on a tangent. We've gone off on a Bonnie Blue tangent. Right, find and fail of the week. Find of the week. I'm married to a morally questionable man, but I already knew that. No. In fact, my find of the week is brick. Since I posted the reels about how much I doom scroll, I have been added something called brick. Now, it is a black physical square thing that they deliver to your house that blocks your phone from certain apps. And to unlock it, you have to get up, walk through your house. You could even put it somewhere awkward, perhaps, like the car, and tap it on it. I'm not 100% sure. Let me check. Yes, so you tap your phone to the small magnetic cube to activate a chosen block list of apps like social media, making them inaccessible until you tap the brick again to unbrick them for better focus during work or family time. I've ordered one of these and I will report back. I wonder if they'll give me a code that I can give you. They probably won't, will they? I'll try. I'll send them an awkward email. If anyone has tried brick, please slide into my DMs and let me know if it worked. Okay, fail of the week. I would say not enjoying reading the way I used to. That alarmed me. But onwards, this is the year of change, you guys, okay? You know, it's the year of the horse. Is that scientific fact? We don't care. What does it mean? It means that last year was bollocks. I think it was the year of the rat or something, which is a shame because I do think that rats are very dear, actually. Aren't they supposed to be incredibly intelligent? I've always felt quite protective over rats. Possibly because my mother and grandmother are rat assassins. They take a hit out on any rat that comes within about a mile of their house. And it's very sad. But I used to leave the mice that would come into my room little dishes of water in my bedside table drawers and little snacks. They would come in through, so I would hear them like scratching in the attic above my head. And there was a hole that I had kicked, #unhinged 12-year-old tantrum, but I'd kicked a hole in the very flimsy like plasterboard above my bed. I think I'd been sent to my room and slammed down onto the bed and then kicked my feet or something. Anyway, I kicked a hole in the wall, which was terrifying to have to admit to my mum. And the little mice would plop down through the hole and just chill out in my bedside table, enjoy the food and drink that I had on offer. Anyway, I've gone off on another tangent. And this is a scientific show. So basically, this is going to be our year, you guys. I can feel it. Let me check. Okay, hang on. So I've just checked, and this is embarrassing. It was not the year of the rat in 2025. It was the year of the snake. And it says, 2025, the snake cleared your path. It was a year of grief, endings, detox, end of cycles, shedding, and a lifting of veils. I would say that's accurate for last year for me. It was not my favourite year of all time. 2026, however, is the year of the horse, where we have power, opportunity, flow, new beginnings, alignment. So 2025, the snake cleared your path. This year, the horse moves you forward. But we do actually have to step forward to go forward, which is where I usually fall short. Because nothing changes if nothing changes. So I implore you to do some of this stuff with me. let's do a bit of change this year. And it's going to be our year. 2026, watch out, because me and the group chat, we're coming. Right, see you on Monday when we will talk about something else. Okay.